Hi, Vicky. And I'm told that you come with a very large amount of experience, probably 14 years of experience or something.
Yes,
And after
yes,
that, how was it studying for the GMAT? And your quant is anyway 51, which is phenomenal to
right.
do. And verbal also, I mean, you were not very happy with it. I heard from my team, but 39 is not bad. So 51, 39, 39 is right.
Yes, B39 Q51,
Yeah,
total of
39.
750.
750 it is. Oh, I'm so
Yeah,
sorry. Okay,
750. No
750.
worries.
So,
Yes.
all right, Vicky. So just take us through, particularly wanted to talk more about quant, and we are doing
Sure,
quant today.
sure.
And first, how difficult is it for a working professional to really commit oneself so much? And second, what was your prep like? And you can talk about both the sections, quant and verbal, please.
Absolutely, absolutely. So first things first, if when I started my GMAT prep,
Mm,
if somebody would have told me that Vicky, at the end of it, you would end up with a 750, I would have taken it hands down. I would have been very happy about it. But having sat through the prep, through your sessions, having studied or tried to master your techniques,
mhm,
I would say I have mixed feelings about 750 because I could easily see that I could have cracked a 770 a bit better at verbal, and
mhm,
I would have definitely had the 770, that mission 770. I
mhm,
would have been there. So that said, uh, given my work experience, given my amount of work that I had, I am in
mhm,
investment banking. I'm in a boutique investment bank where we
mhm,
typically do everything. Uh, and the days can sometimes run as long as 8 hours. I mean, as long as 14 hours and as short as 8 hours. So there's nothing shorter than 8 hours, but the work days can sometimes stretch 14 hours. Uh, Looking back at it, what I realize is that there are certain things that you kept on stressing all throughout,
mhm,
and that everybody would be, benefited from if they are to follow. Is that every day keep on doing something or the other, whether it's 2 hours or 3 hours, keep on taking out the time for
mhm,
yourself, for your prep, that you are able to dedicate to your studies. Uh, you know, no matter what section we talk about, everybody has a preferred section, whether it's
mhm,
quant or a verbal. What's important is to strike that balance, that
mhm.
you're not spending too much time in your favorite section and you are adapting or you are accepting that you will be challenged with the other section and you need to get comfortable with that. So
Right,
that's
right.
what I did. I had a really intense study session just for like 1 week before the
Mm,
exam.
mm,
That was when I taken a break from my work and I
mm,
was studying from 5 in the morning to 10 in the night. I could have pushed
mhm.
longer, but just that my body wouldn't, support
Wow.
me after 10.
Mhm.
So those were the kind of times when, those were the kind of days that I have been through just before
Mhm.
the exam. And
Right.
fortunately, 750. Um, Talking about my sectionals, uh,
Mhm.
I'll start with quant. Quant has been my preferred section. Quant has been my strongest suit. Uh,
Mm,
I have, I would say this, that if I had gotten a Q50 with a 750, I
mm,
would have probably reappeared because I would
mhm,
not have accepted anything less than a Q51. I was that confident about quant. Again, that varies from person to person. Not that this is some yardstick
mm,
for
mhm,
everyone. This is just something that I wanted to go by.
mhm,
Uh, and in quants, the sections or the questions that I had prepared were, of all sorts. The DS traps video was
mm,
very helpful. I used to make a lot of mistakes in DS.
mm,
So, going through those DS trap videos and the DS
mm.
exercises helped eliminate, at least, or boosted my confidence that if I
Right.
were to follow the techniques and tips and tricks that you have said, at least I will
Mm,
eliminate the silly mistakes. There may
right.
be something that I may not be aware of, some formula
Mhm,
or something which the GMAT generally tests. It's more about
mm,
logic.
mhm.
Yes.
Vicky, more about the verbal section because that is
Sure.
somewhere you may have had more struggle with. And how did you
Right.
prepare for RC, SC, CR, each of the areas? And
Right.
was there anything unusual on your exam? Because asking in quant probably it would really not make much sense because nothing would seem
Right.
unusual to you probably.
Right.
But
Right.
tell me about verbal. Was there any particular thing that stumped you when you studied and on the exam also, please?
So I'll be honest. I probably studied more than what was asked for my exam. In
Mm-hmm.
exam, everything seemed it seemed as if I have been through all of those things. For me, when I was practicing SC, I used to make a lot of errors.
Mhm.
I went back to the basics. I went back to the way you had said
Mhm.
that write at least 250
Mhm.
reasons for those 250 questions.
Mhm.
Uh, a piece of advice here, and
Mhm.
probably my biggest fallacy here
Mhm.
was that my biggest pitfall was that I didn't do timed practice in
Mhm.
verbal. Um,
Okay.
Probably the work or the fatigue or a
Mhm.
combination of two. I was just not able to do timed practice in verbal. And that's why every time that I would get stuck on a question, I was very mindful of the amount of time that I was spending on that question, because I did not want to end up with,
Mhm.
marking the last two questions
Mhm.
haphazardly
Mhm.
and risking a minus 20 or a minus 40 over there.
Mhm.
So that was one thing that I did was wrong. I would suggest that if everybody were to thoroughly practice and thoroughly
Mhm.
take up your advice of doing the timed questions,
Mhm.
of writing the answers for SC became really smooth for me by the end of my, I mean, towards the end of my prep, I was really able to spot where the right answer, where the
Mhm.
wrong answers were wrong, as you said,
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
your method doesn't tell you where the right answer is right, but where the wrong answers were wrong. The eliminations I was able to use the eliminations very, very fast
Mhm. Mhm.
in SCs. That helped me a great bit. In RCs, I did practice the 700, 800
Mhm.
almost entirely.
Mhm.
So that helped me build up my comfort with RC.
Mhm.
And CR, again, CR, I did some bit of mixed practice, some 700, 800, some
Mhm.
OG official advanced. I found
Mhm.
the OG official advanced a little difficult. I
Mhm.
do not know the kind of level of questions that they were,
That's right. That's
but,
right.
but
Mhm.
yes, so OG official advanced was a little difficult, but the 700, 800 was relatively easy.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
where, I was able to build my confidence. I mean, in fact, the two mocks that I
Mhm.
got from MBA.com, my
Mhm.
scores were 770 and 780. So looking
With
in
a few
hindsight,
repeat problems, probably.
yes,
Yes.
of course. In fact, even in my GMAT verbal, I had one of the uranium related questions, the
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
extracting uranium from seawater.
CR
I
stuff.
had that question come in my exam. And I was so
Right.
happy about it when I saw that question, that, oh, I have practiced this question. I know where my mistakes have been. I know exactly what to look for. And
Right.
that
Right.
kind
Right.
of, those kind of moments where you could
Mhm.
save your time. It was about, I was trying to save my time. Like
Right. Right.
right now, talking about verbal, it's all conjecture. I do not know where
Yeah,
I
yeah. I
went wrong
know
that I got
that can
verbal
be.
39. But yeah, in terms of practice, if one were to follow everything that you have said,
Mhm.
uh, I would leave very little doubt. That would leave very little doubt for somebody not to be able to crack a V40 or a V41 or a V42. That is
Right.
definitely
Like with 5142, you would have been at 770, obviously. So
right.
that you know very
Right.
clearly. Any other piece of advice you would like to say? You are saying one thing that they should do timed practice in verbal. And
Yes.
did you do too many mocks, or you just did a few mocks like that? That was it. So what was?
So I gave a couple of mocks from the MBA.com.
Mm-hmm.
My last week was spent in revising all the targets, going through all your videos from the downloaded app, from my sessions, from the Manhattan series,
Mm-hmm.
everything that you have given. So
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to iron out my issues, my policies, the areas that I was not able to understand, where comma which or a preposition followed by a which. Those are the kind of things that I was kind of spending my time at the
Mm-hmm.
last minute, and I was not spending too much time on mocks. uh,
That's great. Yeah.
right.
Usually it doesn't help if your pace is good enough. I think it doesn't help, but probably doing a few more verbal sectional tests would have helped you in
Oh,
hindsight.
definitely, definitely. I mean, the timed practice, it's always better to do
Mm,
practice where you are able to stick to the time. There's no point putting a timer for 30 questions for the timer to go off at 27 and then you still continuing. I mean,
right,
that
right.
hardly helps anyone. So I did not do that, but I was mindful that yes, now instead of 30, I was only getting 27
Mm.
in the time. So I should have done a bit more of the
Well,
timed
that's fine. I
practices,
think
but yeah,
it's just in your mind that you just feel that, but I don't think there is any hindrance with respect to any admissions, particularly
right,
because your quant is perfect and
right.
the 750 anyway is extremely competitive even for a Wharton. I mean, so there is nothing that really can help you more than this. Even if your score were a little higher, it wouldn't
Right.
mean much in terms of the admissions prospect. So I think,
No, absolutely. But at the end of it all, you set out a certain target for yourself. As I said, at the start, I would have been happy with a 750, but having been through this last
I
four
know
months of
the kind
everything,
of work,
anything.
the kind of thought process that we instill, and the kind of material and everything.
No,
So
it's very possible. It's very possible. I mean, the techniques, the tips and tricks, the boldface, the way that you
mm,
helped us go through the boldface thing, it was
mm,
amazing. I mean, I could not realize or make myself believe that yes, doing the boldface questions the way that you taught us made it so simple.
right, right,
Um, so
right.
it's about believing
Yeah,
in the method, and the more you instill that belief in yourself, and the more thorough you are with your practice, the better you are at getting that 750, 760, 770, whatever your dream score is, so that
yeah.
you're one step closer to your dream school.
Great, great. Thank you, Vicky. And right, thanks for joining. We'll continue with the
Absolutely.
session, and
Sure.
please do get in touch with all three. Bye bye.
Absolutely. Thank you. Bye bye.